Baba says that you have to have birth control of all wasteful thoughts, like why is this happening, or why is this one doing this. So all of these wasteful thoughts we need not have. And Baba says you have to have birth control of them. That is, you have to behave so responsibly with your thoughts that these thoughts don't take birth. Because the law is that if you give birth to something, then you will have to sustain it. Just like you see, if a child is born, then you can't throw him away. You have to sustain the child. Similarly, these thoughts are our creation. And once you create a notorious creation, a creation which troubles you, then what happens is you also are bound to sustain it. And then what happens is it becomes very difficult to get rid of that creation. But Baba says create responsibly. And this is a very, very important teaching in present time, because you see, only yesterday there was a brother sharing something with me, and I would like to share that with you. And you see, that brother was preparing for his exams, and he was religiously studying and religiously preparing for the exam, and he was sitting up late in the night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night, and preparing for his exam. And what happened is, once he came back from his preparation, he came back home because he was sitting and preparing somewhere else. And when he came back, he did not find a car parking. And then there was this one person who was just sitting in the car in the parking area, and he wanted to ask him whether he's leaving with the car or whether he's still parking the car. And he got into an argument with that person over a very simple thing. And then in that argument, he understood that that person is getting aggressive, and he backed off also. But later, when he was going back to his house, this person started following him, and he climbed the stairs and he went to his flat, and this person was standing down and just watching where he is going, and just seeing which flat he is entering. And this incident happened, and then the person went away after 10 minutes. But this fellow, he said that after that, I just kept thinking about that person standing below my house, and I got afraid, and I started creating thoughts of fear about why was that person standing, and what does he intend to do, or is he intending to harm, or will he come back? And then he started thinking like this, and then he said, I spoiled my exam also, and later now I am almost in a state of depression and anxiety where I cannot stop thinking about these things. So you think about it, you see, if you don't stop your thoughts in the first instance, then you see, if you create a monster, that monster will consume you. And these thoughts are the monsters that we create. And Baba says that, let's say, even if in this particular case, let me give you a simple idea that even if somebody is not standing at your door and waiting to harm you, you are still always vulnerable, is it not? Anything can happen in this old world. There are, if a harm has to happen, then there are, 1 lakh ways of that happening. So why would you just pick one case and start thinking about it? And anyways, Baba says that this is the time when we have to prepare to leave the body in remembrance of Baba. So don't think about not leaving the body or protecting what's there, but just prepare about how you want to leave the body. Not when or where you want to leave the body, but how you want to leave the body. Because in this old world, this is full of so many uncertainties that if you start thinking about one uncertainty, that is just foolish, because there are so many uncertainties, and if you have a buffet of waste thoughts you can think about. But what do you choose to do? So Baba says the wise thing to choose is to always choose to be in remembrance of Baba and have that, that peaceful, powerful, joyful state of mind when you are in remembrance of Baba, because you feel, your mind experiences what your intellect's yoga is connected to. So if your intellect's yoga is connected to an event that happened in the past, so you see, after that man walked away after 10 minutes, you are connecting your intellect's yoga to something that happened 10 minutes ago, right? So you are connecting your intellect's yoga to the past, and that past is consuming your mind. So Baba says, don't connect your intellect's yoga to anything that is in and around you, because everything around us is, is Maya Nagri. So it is Ravan's place, and Ravan can dominate your mind if you have your intellect's yoga with anything around you. And in whatever situation you are, just know that you have to use soul power and remembrance of Baba to get out of it. Never think, what if this happens, what will happen if that happens. You deal with it, right? What else can you do? If anything happens, you deal with it. And how do you deal with it? You deal with it with spiritual power and yoga power. So Baba says that never create these thoughts of what if this happens, what if that happens, and why does this person do this, or why does this person say this, because that's another kind of wasteful thinking, and the starting point of wasteful thinking. Why does this person say this or that person do this? If you keep doing that also, there are no answers to why somebody does something or says something, and you might just keep creating these thoughts and sustaining them as your creation, and they will start troubling you. So Baba says it's very, very important to have birth control of wasteful thoughts in this time, because you see, just like there is population explosion and we cannot afford more children. Similarly, we cannot afford more wasteful thoughts. Already you see, there is a huge burden of 63 births of karmic accounts, and you see, sometimes even one drop is extra, and you might feel that this one drop made the bottle spill, but it's not the one drop, it's the fact that it was already full and then one drop was added. Similarly, you see that it's already 63 births of karmic accounts, and our inner world is already very messed up. So we cannot afford more addition to it. And this is something we have to think about, because you see, many people say that this is a first time and this thing never happened earlier. Earlier also I used to create a lot of thoughts, but they never troubled me, or they never took me to depression, and this time it happened. But it's not that it's happening this time. It's just that this time was the trigger. But the thing is, the Gyan says that you are already full of a lot of karmic account. So now we cannot afford more of that kind of progeny or more of that kind of creation. We have to have complete birth control of these wasteful thoughts, because even one thought can can just open up that whole can of worms, and again that will translate into anxiety, depression, and all of that stuff. So Baba says, don't entertain any of these thoughts. And you see, we live in a world where we will every day find reasons to create thoughts out of fear or worry or some other emotion. But Baba says, you as Jnani souls, you have to abstain from it. So this is very important, and I have been thinking about, and you see, these days, everybody who shares their incident will always say, I was good until 28 years of age or 29 years of age, nothing happened, never, no disturbance of mind, and then this one thing happened and it triggered. But the thing is, people do not have this knowledge that even if you didn't have a signal of it, you're still running full of karmic accounts, and the soul is already very full, so we don't need any more addition. And it is high time that we paid attention to remembering Baba and burning our sins also. And Baba today says that our aim is to be passing with honors, and to pass with honors, when we pass with honors, we go to that world where there is constant peace, and there is imperishable, we have an imperishable kingdom and a stable Rajya which nobody can take away from us. So we have guaranteed peace, happiness, prosperity for 21 births. But Baba says, in order to go there, you have to have first a lot of attention to remembering Baba, because only by remembering Baba can we burn the sins that are there. And when we burn the sins, only then can we become eligible to go to that world which has no sin, which is a sin-free world. But Baba says, how will you constantly remember Baba? So, in order to constantly remember Baba, you have to have complete detachment of your buddhi yoga from this old world, because you cannot remember both. Baba says, and you see, this old world is like a big suction pump, and and if your buddhi yoga is with the old world, all your buddhi, all your mind is consumed by the old world. This old world has, it has so much to offer to you to think and engage with, that if you allow that to happen, then it will not leave any space or time for you to remember Baba. And sometimes, I really wonder, what are people doing all day? So you see that in the old world, just if you these days, if you just take the phone and just sit, 24 hours are passing, and it's messing up with your mind, your destiny, and everything. But people seldom realize that, and this old world consumes all your time, thought, energy, everything. So Baba says, if at all you want to remember Baba, you have to first have complete detachment, or you have to pull out your buddhi yoga from the old body, old world, and your old relationships. And what does it mean when we say don't have buddhi yoga with the old world? So buddhi yoga means don't don't think about the old world. Just play your part in the old world, but don't allow any thought of the old world to linger on your mind. So you see that there is this, your mind and buddhi are always engaged. So you see that, let's say, when you live in the old world and this body, you have to cook, right? So you have to think about what to cook and how to cook. But once you've decided that and you start cooking, do it in remembrance of Baba. And after cooking, don't go into thoughts about whether the food was good or whether somebody would like it or not like it, or whether it will give you that nutrition or not, whether it was perfect in terms of calories or not. Don't go into all of those things. Just plan, decide, act, and then put a full stop. So this is how we operate in the old world. So, there are children, there are spouses, there is family, there is a job. You need to distinguish very clearly between what is a necessary thought and what is a wasteful thought. Yes, so in office, a necessary thought is, how should I do my work well? But a wasteful thought is whether the boss will be pleased with me. Because you can never assure that the boss will be pleased with you. So that's, what if the boss is not pleased with me? Or what if the boss is more pleased with another person? So if that has to be, so be it so. So you cannot do anything about it anyway. But how I should behave with the boss or how I should do the work is a question that you have to answer for yourself and do that appropriately. And Baba has even answered that question for us very well. Because whenever you say, how should I be with the boss or how should I do the work, then the simple answer is, you do it in consonance with your spiritual qualities and in remembrance of Baba. So you do everything knowledgefully, truthfully, peacefully, lovefully, blissfully. And when you adhere to this, then Baba says, rest of it is drama, and you are doing the best karma that you can in the moment, and rest of the things, even if you worry about it a lot, or you just constantly keep worrying about it, they are not in your control. So don't think about it. So when Baba says that, have your buddhi yoga with me and forget the old world, it means that my mind, my time, my thoughts, my energy, everything is driven by Baba's directions. And I do the necessary work that's necessary in the old world, but I don't allow my mind and buddhi to linger on that. And then Baba says that after that, you just stay in my remembrance and burn your sins. And that is how you become eligible to be passed with honors. But in this, the important thing is, who do you have buddhi yoga with? So you have buddhi yoga with the one you love. Is that right? Yes. So if you love your status and your position, then you will always keep thinking about them, or your buddhi will always go to that. If you love your property, your buddhi will go to that. Yes, and you will overthink about that anyway. If you love someone or something, then your buddhi will go to that. So buddhi yoga is an aspect of love, and you cannot have buddhi yoga with Baba if you don't have love for Baba, and you cannot have buddhi yoga with Baba alone. So Baba says, avyabhichari buddhi yoga. which is Buddhi Yoga with only one Baba. And you will have that unadulterated remembrance or that constant remembrance of just one Baba. When you have that love for one Baba to the exclusion of love for anyone or anything else. And do you have that kind of love for Baba? That is the main question. And what is the basis for having love for Baba? So, if you ask yourself, who do you love? You love the one you have relationship with, the one who gives you, one who sustains you through relationships, and the one who makes you feel full of attainments. So let's say, why do you love your money or your property or your position? Because it makes you feel worthy and full. It makes you feel that you are someone. And Baba says that if you really recognize Baba, then Baba is the one you have all relationships with, and Baba is the one who gives you all attainments. And but it needs a lot of realization, because you see, we have been conditioned to believe that our relationships are with human souls, or these days animal souls also. So these days people say your dog loves you more than your husband, so that is also there. But then the question is whether really the relationship that, or the sustenance that we need, is coming from humans or animals, or whether it is coming from Baba. Because you see, we are living in the illusion that my father loves me, mother loves me, brother loves me, or my dog loves me, cat loves me. But if that was so, then you are receiving so much of love, and yet why is your heart not full of love? Why is it still yearning for love? Yes, so that is the big question you have to ask yourself. And if you're receiving so much love, then love should make you loveful. But that love is not making us loveful. And these days people say that when I found someone who loved me, I became insecure. But how is that possible? If somebody loves you, then you would get secure. But why is that association giving you insecurity? Because that's not love. That's love, that's attachment, and lust camouflaged as love. And attachment and lust are sins which empty the soul. And practically we see that lust and attachment is emptying the soul. The more attached you are, the more insecure you are. The more, your anger, your jealousy, everything is increasing. Then how do you say that's love? And this is why Baba says, only when we receive this divine intellect do we understand the difference between virtues and vices, because we do not have the discernment of virtues and vices in the old world. And let me share one experience which happened yesterday. So there was this lady, and she was telling me that when I cry, I feel very light. Yes, and I feel very good. So, and Baba says, don't cry. So, why should I not cry? I feel light after crying. So, I said, okay, let's suppose that you actually feel light after crying. So, then over the years, because you're feeling lighter and lighter, you should stop crying, or your crying should reduce. But is it reducing or increasing? So she said, earlier I used to cry once a week. Now I have cry spells. I cry abruptly anytime. and I am suffering from these cry spells, so I understand that my crying is increasing. So I asked her, then why do you think that crying is making you feel lighter? Because if that was so, then you should feel light and not cry. But your crying is increasing day by day, and the amount of, the propensity that with which you cried earlier has now increased. So similarly, you have to have this discernment that if something is really filling you with peace, then your need for peace will finish, or at least it will reduce, or somebody is actually giving you love, then you start giving love rather than begging for love. But the thing is, we say that, we went on a holiday and we became peaceful, but the next day you're planning for the next holiday. So that holiday didn't give you peace. And if that was so, why is your need for holidaying increasing and not decreasing? So Baba says that you have to understand that you are living in this illusion where you think that people, places, a thing, and things are filling your heart with love. But Baba says that's not so. And Baba says now you have to recognize that I am the one who is sustaining you with the essence of all relationships. Whatever you need, you see, from a father, you want this feeling of protection and, I'm there, and you want to feel, what do you say, a father should make you feel carefree. So Baba says that I am the father who makes you feel carefree. But Baba says nischay se nischint. So Baba says, I am the father who can make you feel carefree, but only when you have the faith that I am your father. And if you don't have the faith that I am your father, then I cannot make you feel carefree. And the one you think is your father is not making you feel carefree. You don't feel carefree in their presence. So Baba says, I am the one who is actually giving you the sustenance of all relationships. You want unconditional acceptance and love from the mother, but that unconditional acceptance has also to be balanced by, scope for improvement. Sometimes, you don't just need somebody to accept you. You need acceptance plus encouragement. And if somebody just keeps accepting you, and there is no, you are not progressing, it's just somebody accepting you the way you are always and not adding or encouraging you to be better, then what happens is, after a point of time, their acceptance wouldn't mean anything to you, and you would be so unaccepting of yourself that you would blame them for being so accepting. And have you heard that story about the child who stole a pencil while in school? And later, and the mother accepted that, okay, it's fine that you stole a pencil, and never corrected the child. And later on, the child became a thief. And then the child asked the mother, why didn't you stop me the first day I stole the pencil? So Baba says that you don't need just acceptance, or you don't need rejection. You neither need only acceptance, nor do you need blatant rejection. You need this balance where somebody accepts you, believes in you, motivates you, encourages you, uplifts you, all at the same time. And Baba says that that mother who does it for you is me. But Baba says, only when you have this recognition and this faith that I am that supreme mother for you. So Baba says, if you really recognize, you know that I am your father, mother, beloved, teacher, Satguru. I am the one giving you all attainments of all relationships, and I am the one giving you the peace, the joy, the love, the power that you're seeking in the world. And all that seeking has only left you more hungry, more searching. But now when you follow my Shrimat, you will become full of the peace, love, joy and power that you're seeking in the world. So Baba says that once you recognize me, you love me, and you love me to the exclusion of the love of everybody else, which means you love me and none other, because I'm the best, and you know that you don't need anybody else apart from me. And then you also love others, but that's an indirect love, that love which comes from the realization that because Baba is my father, these are my soul brothers and sisters, and so I love them indirectly because I have a spiritual relationship with them. So Baba says, this is the kind of love you have for me, and I'm sure that we children have recognized that Baba is my father, my grandfather, my mother, and the one who gives me all attainments. And when we realize that, we love Baba. And when you love somebody, only then can you have constant buddhi yoga with that one. Yes. And Baba says, in this, so it's great and good that we recognize Baba and start remembering Baba. But then the challenge of Maya comes up, because Baba says, it's not enough that you recognize and remember Baba, but it's also important for you to recognize Maya, because you may recognize Baba and remember Baba, but then Maya will also start doing its thing. So you see, there is this one Mata, and she said that I took the 21 days course and I was very happy, and I was listening to the Murli, and I was remembering Baba, attending classes, and I was feeling much, much better. But then my father fell sick, and I had to go to take care of him. And when I went to take care of him, I started missing classes, and I started missing Amrit Vela. And then slowly, gradually, the connection with Baba was lost. And so you see that what Maya will do is, Maya will give you a very good reason. Now you see, the father being sick is a good reason enough, right? So Maya will give you very good reasons for you to miss Amrit Vela, for you to miss classes, for you to miss Murli, and for you to think and fret about the old world and not stay in Baba's remembrance. But Baba says, you have to give a good fight to Maya, and you have to follow Baba's Shrimat anyway, and you have to keep up your spiritual disciplines anyway, because if you allow Maya to stop you from following your disciplines, then Maya will just eat you up and finish your spiritual path. So Baba says, you recognize Baba, you love Baba, but in the world also, when somebody falls in love also, there is a lot of hindrance, and you know what happened to Laila, Majnu, Heer, Ranjha and all. So similarly, when we rise in love also, when we come to love to Baba also, come to recognize that, I love Baba also, there is a lot of hindrance that comes in from Maya. And you still have to Keep up your flame of love burning and keep up that connection through yoga and Murli, and keep up that discipline that keeps you close to Baba. Otherwise, Maya will just finish the part. Okay, Om Shanti.